Hi, this is Jaya. In this video, we shall see about contrastive analysis. Robert Lado, in his book Linguistics Across Cultures, identified the areas of difficulty a particular foreign language will present for native speakers of another language. Where the two languages and cultures are similar, learning difficulties will not be expected. Where they are different, then learning difficulties are to be expected. The foreign language teacher with his knowledge of applied linguistics is ahead of the conventional teacher in two respects. That is, he can predict some of the errors even before they are made, and his knowledge of such errors is not restricted to phonology but extends to morphology, syntax, and foreign languages. Contrastive analysis of the two languages should include all the levels: phonological, morphological, syntactical, and lexical. Robert Lado maintains that the differences between the native language and the foreign language constitute the learning problems for the student. Once the student has mastered the problem patterns of the target language, then we can say he has mastered the whole language. The teacher also should acquaint himself with the blind spots in the foreign language by contrastive linguistic analysis and prepare his teaching materials. The synchronic comparison of two or more linguistic systems is known as contrastive linguistics. The diachronic comparison of two or more linguistic systems with a view to classifying languages into families and finding out the origin and the development of a particular language is known as comparative linguistics. Any linguistic model, traditional, structural, transmission, etc., can be used for comparing languages. If two languages are compared, it is called interlingual study. But if two varieties of the same language are compared, it is called intralingual study. Contrastive analysis is not a teaching technique, it serves as a predictive technique. Contrastive analysis is very useful to identify, analyze errors and evolve some remedial measures, to prepare effective teaching and testing materials, to have a proper selection and gradation of the teaching materials, to promote self-learning, to go deep into the causes of errors and understand some of the real sources of errors, to understand how human brain works in manipulating language, and to know to what extent we can make use of the mother tongue in language 2 teaching. D.A. Wilkins points out the contrastive analysis tells a teacher where to expect an unusual degree of learning difficulty. Contrastive analysis can also be used in studying problems in translation and knowing language types. Error analysis helps us classifying and categorizes errors, but contrastive analysis helps us to go deep into the causes of errors. In learning the first language, the learner is exposed to the first language all the time. When he starts learning a second language, there is a clash between the system of the first and the second languages. As a result, the learner of the second language begins to commit errors. The errors made in the second language are often due to the gravitational pull of the first language, internal analogy and overgeneralization, pronunciation according to spelling, bad teaching, exposure to the non-standard variety used against the classroom. The attitudes of community, those in power, the policy of the government and such other factors, failure to understand the nature of the second language, lack of adequate vocabulary and the cultural gap between the two systems. Now, how can we present all these comparisons? How can we master the second language? We have to start with one or more simple sentences in the first language and their translation equivalent of the second language. State the problems that emerge from the data. List the problems that have emerged from the data for later references. Consider alternative ways of expressing the same meaning in both the languages. Reconsider the original simple sentences and examine the grammatical probabilities. At the same time, one should be aware of the fact that not all rules of the first language will result in errors. If you have anything more to add on to what I have said, please write it in the comment box, like the video, share it with your friends, and if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe and support. Thank you.